Good afternoon, seekers, and welcome to my channel. Thank you to the new subscribers and to those of you who are taking the time and energy to listen to this quick 3-card reading today. Remember to read the disclaimer in the box below. And we have Malachite, Garnet, and Amazonite. Or we have the Ghost card, the Death card, and the Cleanse card. So if you like to pick with an image, those are your 3 images. Or if you like to pick with a crystal, we have Malachite, Garnet, and Amazonite. So we finished smudging. So Malachite, Garnet, beautiful garnet, deep red, or Amazonite. Ghost with a Malachite egg, Garnet with the Death or Transformation card, and the beautiful blue Cleanse card with the turquoise Amazonite. So take your pick, and I will see you in the next reading. Welcome to your reading, Malachite pile. You chose the card of Ghost, as well as the Malachite, the little Malachite egg. So the Malachite is a crystal that it's a powerful protection stone. It opens the heart. It's very interesting. I choose the crystals first and then I draw the cards. And Malachite helps release patterns of the past. It draws out deep feelings that allows one to break like patterns of behavior that are outworn or unwanted ties. And it's not just like a physical tie to a person. It can also be ties to ancestral behavior patterns, ancestral belief systems. And Malachite is a stone that almost assists in rebirthing a new pathway. And Ghost, of course, is a card that speaks of the past. So, for example, you could have had a traumatic relationship in your youth that has colored the way you have adult relationships now. And what Malachite is suggesting, what Malachite is bringing forward, is for you to let that ghost go, to bury the ghosts of your past, to set them free in a way, and start in your present life, start relating or start developing new patterns of behavior, new ways of being. Let the ghosts of the past die and be buried. So we're just doing a quick 3-card reading to see what we can pick up and see what patterns, what ghosts do you need to release, where do you need to open your heart. Another thing that Malachite does is it encourages change. It encourages adventures and risk-taking. So quick 3-card reading: situation, challenge, and key theme to consider. So your situation is the very beautiful 10 of Pentacles. This is a card that suggests abundance. It suggests material wealth, family wealth. You could have inherited it. It could be traditional. You see the castle in the background. You see the happy family. This is a card that just symbolizes a complete and full life, rich in material abundance, rich in emotional abundance. It's a very successful card, which could have been worked for. It could have been something that you were born into. But the situation that is perhaps binding you in some way to the past is a very comfortable, abundant, wonderful situation. So let's have a look. So even Eden has its snakes. So let us see what the challenge in this situation is. That's an interesting card to get as a challenge. Let's just put this card down. So the Three of Cups is the party card. It's the card of celebration. It's a card of embracing life to the full, enjoying life within the community, within friends, celebrating successes, celebrating happiness. Again, it's very similar in energy almost to the Ten of Pentacles, but it's perhaps the Ten of Pentacles is very stable. It's been there for a long time. It's developed over time, where the Three of Cups is a card that has an immediate kind of energy. It's something that's happening right now. It's like if you get a degree, then you have a celebration. If you have a baby, you have a celebration. If you have a wedding, you have a celebration. And this is the difficulty with this card is that it's lying in the challenge situation. So is it perhaps saying that there's too much of a good thing happening? Perhaps there's something in your situation that is not allowing you to be an individual. Perhaps it's not allowing you to, if this is inherited wealth, or if this is something perhaps that on some level maybe there's an imposter syndrome here, that you feel you haven't earned it, or perhaps it'll be different for everybody, because remember, this is a collective reading and you will take out of it what resonates with you. So there could be the imposter syndrome, that you've got to this place of abundance, this place of celebration, but you almost feel afraid to celebrate because you wonder when it's going to be taken away. That's one scenario. Another scenario could be that you haven't earned the abundance, and therefore you don't know what you're capable of. There's many different individual scenarios that could play out. Whoever's watching this, everybody has their own concept of what is the success and the abundance that the Ten of Pentacles offers. And equally, everybody will have their own idea of why is the Three of Cups, which is a card of celebration, which is a card of joyous sharing of happiness with friends and family and community, what is challenging about actually being able to celebrate with your community? What is it about your situation that you are finding challenging? So let's have a look. Maybe we can gain a little bit more insight into that by looking at the final card, which is a key theme to consider. And very interesting how completely and utterly different this energy, this final card energy, the key theme to consider, it is completely and utterly different in tone to the first two cards. This is a card that needs solitude. This is a card that needs introspection. This is a card that needs to be their own light. This is a card that wants to dig deep and find its own wisdom, find its own inner strength. So this card, the Three of Cups, draws its strength from celebrating with community. The Ten of Pentacles is all about the strength and stability of a community, going back, and it's a generational thing, the Ten of Pentacles, because you can see it's the history in the castle, the couple, and then the future generation. So that's past, present, and future generations are all there in the Ten of Pentacles card. And of course, we come right back to the original card, which is the Ghost card. So what patterns of behavior, what energetic ties are preventing you from fully celebrating this abundance that is within your life? And perhaps the answer lies, or something that you need to consider, if there is a sense of dissatisfaction. Perhaps you need to consider the Hermit. The Hermit is calling you to a time of solitude, a time of introspection. It is asking you to be your own light, rather than following the light of the past, the behaviors and the guidelines and the abundance and the patterns of behavior that have created this abundance. I'm not saying, by no means am I saying you walk away from this, but perhaps within this circumstance that you find so difficult to celebrate and enjoy and embrace, all it requires is for you to find a way to walk your own path within the confines of these generational patterns, this generational abundance. Let's quickly see if we can get a little bit more information. Let's quickly draw a couple of live cards and we'll see what, let's just give a quick riffle and let's see if the spirits will give us a little bit more. Okay, spirit guides, kindly give us a little bit of information on the contrast between the Hermit energy and the Ten of Pentacles and the Three of Cups. The Three of Cups and the Ten of Pentacles is all about community and abundance, where the Hermit is all about a simple life, simplicity and solitude. So let's have a look. There's a card and there's a card. Thank you very much. Let's have a look at these two. A Tower card. Interesting. And positive movement forward. So we get the Tower card, which suggests that something has happened to really shake up your belief or your enjoyment or your experience of this wonderful abundance. And that is perhaps why you are unable to enjoy it as much as you would like to. So the Tower card always brings in, it's a lightning bolt moment. It is a moment when the ego shatters. It is a moment when one gets a completely new perspective of the world. And something has happened recently to shake up your view. It has brought to the surface a whole lot of ghosts of the past, a whole lot of ties that are holding you back. And the promise in the aftermath of this Tower, through taking the path of the Hermit, through walking, finding a way to reach inward to your inner guru, to your inner guide, to your own light and your own wisdom, you will find a way to move forward positively. Whatever has happened has been for your soul's highest good. It is a way, you know that song, Amazing Grace, I once was blind, but now I see. Whatever this Tower moment is that has taken away your pure enjoyment of this abundant lifestyle that you perhaps that you are not enjoying now, is saying, look inward, look to your own wisdom, and your soul will move forward to new horizons, a new sun. And in doing that, you will, of course, let the ghosts of the past go, and you will open yourself up to a rebirth that lets go of all the patterns and the unwanted ties and the outworn behaviors that are no longer serving any purpose in your life. And that, Pile 1, is your reading for today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I wish you love and so much blessings, and I look forward to seeing you in the next reading. Welcome to your reading, Pile 2. You chose the beautiful red garnet, and you chose the Death card, which is also the card of transformation. And this is such an interesting Death card because it's black, and black, of course, represents Negrida. And in the alchemical process of transformation, black, that point of Negrida, is just as the base metals are about to turn into gold. And that, of course, symbolizes that point of transformation when all our suffering is about to come to an end and we transform into the purest gold that our spirits can contain. So let's have a look at your 3 cards. The situation is the Empress, the beautiful abundant, creative, fertile empress who shares her abundance with the world. She's powerful, she's the nurturer, she nurtures the earth, she nurtures the family, she nurtures the spirit of the world. She is in a position of power, but it is a benevolent power. So this is your situation. Interesting, it's not a card I expected after the death card. But maybe there's something here that needs to be transformed. The Empress has a lot of responsibility. A lot of people rely on her, a lot of souls, spirits, animals, the fields. There's a lot of responsibility that comes with her comfort and her powers and her creation abilities. So let's see what the challenge in the situation is. The Eight of Swords, very interesting. The Eight of Swords is a feeling of being trapped. You can see that the swords go through the heart. So perhaps in this situation, this powerful Empress is feeling a bit trapped. The Garnet, interestingly enough, is about bringing hope to seemingly hopeless situations. It's a stone of commitment, and of course the Empress, as a nurturer, is extremely committed. But perhaps at times that commitment is a responsibility that is taken too far, that leaves her feeling trapped and unable to fly and use her full powers. And the one thing that the Garnet does is it shifts perceptions. A Garnet energy helps shift perceptions, not only of yourself, but of other people. And the Empress can perhaps be feeling trapped with too much responsibility, with too much having to be the provider, the nurturer, and there's perhaps no time left for herself. And she may at times feel that her spirit, instead of being able to fly free like the eagle, her spirit is trapped and perhaps dying, unable to breathe, being smothered with all this responsibility. And if there is no way out of the situation, the Garnet brings hope. It is useful in a crisis. I think I mentioned earlier that it allows the dissolution of old ideas. So perhaps the challenge in this situation, the death that needs to occur, the transformation, the change, the alchemical point where the base metal is turned into gold, perhaps this Empress needs to tap into the Garnet energy and reassess her role and her responsibilities so that she can enjoy the nurturing, the comfort, the sense of being the provider without feeling trapped. Let's have a look what the key theme is to consider. Oh, very interesting. And interesting that there's two eights. You see both eights. These are the number of affinity, power, courage. The Garnet brings courage. 8 is also about committing. Once you commit, the 8 is a very solid number. But so you've got the 8 of Swords, which is in the challenge position, which suggests that there's something about this situation. And remember, the Empress, although the Empress is a woman, this is not necessarily just for female listeners. We all have these various types of energy within us. And it could be a man who is in a role of provider, who is feeling trapped and unable to, perhaps he's in a job that provides, if you're a male energy listening to this reading, it could be that you are the provider, not so much the nurturer, but you provide the funds and the stability that allow the nurturing to take place. But perhaps it is not in a job that you love. It may be in a job that is stifling you, that is trapping you. And that is the dilemma. That is what is killing your soul and needs to be transformed and changed. And the good news that the Eight of Wands brings is that the Eight of Wands is like a flash of divine inspiration. It brings in new ideas, and it allows those new ideas to be grounded and to be brought from the realm of ideas into the realm of the material world. So Garnet is also success in business. So perhaps you are thinking of doing something in the business line. That's the creative divine inspiration. But you are feeling almost trapped in the need to provide for your family or for your circumstances. And the message here is that something needs to change. You need to be able to open your wings and fly. Let's just get a couple more cards. Let's see if Spirit can give us any more clues or hints or tips or guidance. Spirit, for the Garnet pile, please give me 2 more cards to explain the double 8 of the 8 of Swords. And, oh, that card wants to come out, and that card wants to come out. Thank you very much. Let us see. Ah, interesting. Interesting. Wow, okay. Now, how interesting is that? That is the Empress card, and that is the Emperor card. And it is saying, both major arcana cards, and it is saying, step into your own authority. Whatever the divine inspiration is that is bringing its message to you, that is giving you this creative idea that can bring success if you commit to it. This card is saying, step into your own authority. Trust in your divine visions. Believe in yourself. And you will be able to rejoice in celebration. You will not feel trapped. You will be able to fly free like the eagle and rejoice in the celebration, the change, the transformation that comes about through stepping into your own authority will result in a rejoicing and a celebration. Well, Garnet pile, that is your reading. I wish you luck in your ventures. I wish you so many blessings and so much love. If you like this reading, remember to press the thumbs up button or subscribe for future readings. And I look forward to having you join us in the next reading. Welcome to your reading, pile 3. You chose the beautiful Amazonite. This is such a soft, gentle stone. It's a soothing stone. It calms the mind. It calms the emotions. It's good for communication. It's a beautiful stone to help one through emotional traumas like grief or worry, anxiety. And it comes with the card, the cleansing card. You know, in many ancient cultures, water has always been a strongly purifying element. There will be ritual baths. You think of the, I think it's a mikveh in the Jewish religion, and in the Japanese religions, water, in so many religions, water, bathing, using water to ritually cleanse one's soul, to ritually cleanse one's body and soul. It's very, very important. And that's what this card suggests, that there is something around the situation that needs cleansing, that needs purifying. So perhaps, you know, the cards will give us some idea of what you're wrestling with, what needs to be purified, what needs to be cleansed and released, because of course the water washes away whatever the impurities or the toxins or the stresses and worries are. And that's interesting because Amazonite, of course, is a stone that helps alleviate worries and fear. And water ritually can be used to cleanse away and to wash away worries and fears and doubts and all sorts of other negative emotions. So the situation is the sun. Well, that's a very interesting card. Normally it's a card of great success, of great happiness, but taking into account these two energies, this card suggests to me that there is something in this situation that has been illuminated, that is about to be illuminated, that is currently being illuminated. So perhaps there's something in your situation that you are seeing for the first time, something that is quite painful, something that needed to be brought to the surface so that you could clear and cleanse the hold it has on you. So this is a card suggesting that something in your situation is all about illumination. But the key thing to remember with the sun is that it always has a beneficial and positive effect. Because once something has been brought up, it can be transformed, it can be cleansed, it can be let go. Let's have a look at the challenge in the situation. The Four of Cups. The Four of Cups is a card almost of needing to hold space so that you can understand something, that you can look at different options, that you can take your time, you can get yourself in balance. There's almost a situation that something has been out of balance and you desperately need to bring it back in balance. And I find it very interesting that these lotus flowers are rising, and the main lotus flower has the illuminating sun coming out of it again. So the challenge in this situation is for you to find that time, for you to find a space where you can hold sacred space and you can go inward and you can contemplate what it is about this situation that is perhaps causing stress, that needs cleansing, that needs releasing, that needs to be let go. One thing about Amazonite is that it works on all levels of consciousness. So it will work on your subconscious, your superconsciousness, and your general sort of what you already know. And the Four of Cups, the challenge here for you to see what needs to be illuminating is for you to hold that space, to allow the illumination to come into your consciousness so that you can hold it gently, lovingly. This is a soothing stone. It is a calming stone. And as the water gently laps over you, you can come into an understanding of what it is that you need to release and let go. Let's have a look at the key theme. Oh, all right. This is the Nine of Swords. The Nine of Swords is a card of sorrow. It's a card of grief. And the Amazonite helps release grief, worry, anxiety. This may be on a personal level, that it's some sort of grief, but there's also a suggestion here that, and perhaps you are an empath, perhaps you are very sensitive, and there's a suggestion in this card that you are embracing the sorrow of the world, because that is a web. It is the web of creation. And perhaps there's some way in this time of contemplation, in this time where you're allowing your different levels of consciousness to be illuminated, to bring up what is causing you stress and worry and grief. Perhaps it is time now for you to recognize that you are absorbing perhaps too much of the sorrow of the world, and you maybe need to find ways of cleansing it, of letting it go, of holding space that is your own sacred space, your own safe sanctuary, where you can gain balance and you can get yourself You can allow yourself to see things in a different way, to have the pain and sorrow that you are carrying, whether it is personal, something that has personally happened to you that you haven't realized. Perhaps you lost a job, you lost a close family member, you lost a way of life. Those are all things that we need to grieve as much as we need to grieve the loss of loved ones. And of course, there is the collective sorrow, the world sorrow that you are absorbing and that you need to let go and cleanse out of your system. Let's just ask the guides for a couple more cards for pile 3, please. Let us have, is there any more information you would like to give us on the sorrow that they are absorbing and how they can deal with it? Oh, that one bounced out. And, oh, wow, that one jumped. Let's bring it back here. Foundation and achievements and conflict and defeat. Gosh, that's interesting. It's almost two ends of the scale. Let me think about this in the context. Perhaps the sorrow, what I'm getting, what's coming to me, is there's almost an element here that because there's so much sorrow in the world and there's so much grief and pain and suffering, these two cards work well together. The conflict and despair, the conflict and defeat, and the 9 of Swords. You almost, the feeling I'm getting here is that you almost can't enjoy your own achievements. You can't enjoy the foundations that you've built in your own life. And remember, the Sun card, although in terms of the energy of this reading, it's all about illuminating something that you're not fully aware of. The Sun card is also about always having success. It's a card that brings joy and happiness and great success. And there's always a happy ending when the Sun appears in the reading, even if it's reversed. And it's not reversed in this case, it's upright. But there is this 9 of Swords and this conflict and defeat. And the foundation of achievements, which celebrating the rainbow, celebrating what it's built, the family, all the successes. 4 is a very stable number. It is a solid number. It is a number that through hard work one achieves success. And yet there is this feeling of conflict and defeat, this grief that is preventing you from enjoying your foundation that you've built and the achievements that you've made. And I think the final message from the spirit guides here, pile 3, is that you need to open your heart and you need to open your mind to the fact that, yes, there is this side of the problem, that there is so much suffering and conflict in the world. But you need to look at your achievements. You need to look at how you built your own achievements, and you need to allow yourself, you need to open your heart to your worthiness of accepting and celebrating and enjoying those successes. Cleanse the sorrow, this collective sorrow, from your soul, and allow yourself to congratulate yourself and enjoy the achievements that you have made and done in a very difficult time of the world's history. So well done, pile 3. It is amazing that despite your successes, you are still able to feel this empathy, to feel this conflict and despair for others. But now is the time to cleanse that sorrow from your soul and concentrate on strengthening your foundations and celebrating and counting your blessings and your achievements with gratitude to the abundant universe that provides it all. So that, pile 3, is your reading. I send it with so much blessings and so much love. If you liked the reading, I would appreciate a thumbs up or a subscription so that you do not miss future readings, and I look forward to seeing you in those future readings.